Human trafficking is one of the largest and fast-growing organized crime worldwide. South Africa has become one of the prime destinations for syndicates to operate, and only 1% of all victims are rescued. We chat to Seema Naidu from Hope to Heal Foundation about this growing concern. Seema, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that.
Now, Seema, what I appreciate about you joining us today the most is that you're going to help us break down this concept of human trafficking. So firstly, what is it and who is mostly at risk?
The human trafficking is often identified as modern-day slavery, whereby people steal freedom for profit and control of people's lives for exploitation. The common elements of human trafficking is force, fraud, and coercion that is used to control people. And it is one of the largest organized growing crime in the world, whereby millions are under forced lockdown, trapped into modern-day slavery. So basically, anybody could be at risk. Age does not matter. Well, at the moment, children and people that are living in underdeveloped countries and communities are mostly at risk.
Okay. So then if we look at being trafficked, how are they trafficked? And what are some of the signs that we should look out for to identify a possible victim?
So there are three main core things in human trafficking. And the three components are the act, the means, and the purpose. The means is a coercion used to carry out the recruitment or movement of the person. And it can include deception as well with a fake job. The purpose refers to the motivation of the trafficker, the way in which they are seeking to exploit the victim, be it for sex trade, forced labor, or drug mules. And in case of children, whereby children are trafficked, the recruitment and the transportation and the harboring and receipt of children, whereby only the act and the purpose is applicable.
Now, you know, Seema, you did speak about a concept of being locked down, and essentially it's forced slavery under lockdown. But the real question is, did our national lockdown contribute to human trafficking? And if so, how?
I strongly believe the lockdown had a major effect on human trafficking globally. With the social distancing closure of many institutes during the lockdown, one might expect trafficking to decline, but human trafficking has become a major lucrative crime in the pandemic rock world. With the global economic crisis and COVID-19 pandemic, individuals are extremely at risk for sex trafficking and labor trafficking, and especially we have already been warned by the United Nations of child trafficking and forced child labor. So criminals will use the pandemic as an opportunity to lure people into fake job opportunities, and they will do anything they possibly can at this particular time because people are so vulnerable at the moment with loss of jobs and lack of basic living requirements, and the criminals will do anything to get to them. So especially at the moment now, people working remotely, and all of them are depend on electronics, and they are most at risk of cybercrime, and especially young children. So it's so important during this period of time that parents pay important attention on what kids are going on to Google or on social media or on TikTok, because cybercrime is a major problem at the moment.
Absolutely. Now, it seems like it's during this time where we need help. We need heroes. So that's where you come in. How does Hope to Heal assist human trafficking survivors? And do the survivors often blame themselves and not report immediately?
That's a very good question. So Hope to Heal is a first point for survivors. We play a massive role. We play a vital role, I would say, for survivors. And we are the first point for a survivor. We make sure a survivor gets a medical attention and all the necessary stuff is done before we hand the case over for investigation, and the survivor is put into a safe house. And our major concern at the moment is because of the high rise in human trafficking cases is the rehabilitation and reintegration of people into society, survivors actually into society, because every survivor has their own needs and their own healing period. So it's just not a 3-month thing where you can put a survivor in for 3 months and he or she is expected to heal. It doesn't work like that. Hope to Heal Foundation is working towards having our own shelter for human trafficking survivors. whereby we are having professional people to support these survivors so that they're able to heal and be leaders in society and not remain trapped in their perverse trauma.
Truly instilling and adding that hope that feels like might be lost during this time. So what should we do if we become possible victims? And what should victims do to help free themselves?
So it's extremely difficult when a victim has restricted movement. That's where the public plays an important part, because the public should, if they see something, they must report any suspicious behavior, because most of the trafficked people, especially with the commercial sex industry, where people are restricted with movement. People that works in factories, they are restricted with movement. So it's difficult for them to say that they will have an opportunity to escape.
Yeah.
So basically, people that are farm laborers and people that have like prostitutes, they can report the crime. But like you say, they are too scared to report the crime, especially those farm workers that comes into the country with no documentation. So they are afraid, and they look at themselves as criminals, so they don't report the matter.
Well, Seema Naidu from Hope to Heal Foundation, thank you so much for touching base with us this afternoon and help us understand the concept of human trafficking and what we need to do, not only to protect ourselves, but for our loved ones. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, we live in a world where we have to constantly be vigilant for the safety of ourselves and for others. If you suspect a victim of human trafficking, please do contact the South African National Human Trafficking Hotline. Even if you're not 100% sure, you could be saving a life.